Today we're here in the Oberk Collection, a small gallery on the west side of Berlin dedicated to modern art. And we are looking at the centerpiece and the focal point of the collection, Slab of the Berlin Wall by Werner Ulbricht.
Now, Werner Ulbricht was not primarily known as an artist. He dabbled in some modern art,
Particularly pop art.
but he is most famous for being the greatest architect in West Germany, particularly West Berlin, throughout the Cold War.
His buildings were incredibly rooted in pragmatic ideas of form over function.
Right, he was a brutalist architect building large, flat, and unfinished concrete buildings where the needs and efficiency of the building took precedence over all aspects of beauty.
This point of pragmatism in architecture bled over into all other aspects of art for Ulbricht as well. His art was generally abstract in nature, doubling in public function, such as in his sculptures that doubled as benches.
He did seemingly bench pragmatism in one aspect of art, however. He saw pop art as the most effective manner in which to communicate to a large audience.
Pop art, using the forms and icons already in the public's minds, allowed for the unknown to be demonstrated quite easily with the known.
It delves into their subconscious or psyche, tapping into its power to cognitize the message being portrayed through just a simple icon.
It is quite a powerful tool. The pragmatic ideas that Ulbricht held were of course quite contrary to the ideals of the art world.
Right, he valued his own pieces often as valueless, purely made to disseminate a message which once out there was worthless.
The art world tended to disagree often, selling his pieces for hundreds of thousands of marks, or on occasion, even millions.
Ulbricht himself never accepted any money for anything that was not practical, choosing to only make money off of architecture. But he did resent the art world's focus on the name of artists and historical significance of a piece of art, rather than its actual quality to be useful.
Now, Ulbricht, as a West German, was very familiar with the Berlin Wall, which had been erected as an icon and symbol of the division between Western and Eastern Europe.
To a German, nothing could be as iconic or meaningful as the Berlin Wall, and no event could be as tremendously important as the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Quite right, it was a huge moment, and to Ulbricht, a perfect opportunity to make a final statement on the world of art.
The art world's focus on history and significance historically made the Berlin Wall perfect.
And his status as a relevant pop artist and the wall's status as the largest icon of the century further added.
So Ulbricht set up the biggest con of the day. He announced that he would be creating a gallery of modern art, especially his art, which he refused to sell but would display.
Dubbed the Ulbricht Collection, its opening event was also to have a reveal of a new piece by Ulbricht, which he would auction.
Now, this generated quite the buzz among the art world.
All the top art collectors made arrangements to be present for the auction or send proxies. Meanwhile, Ulbricht remained. Not so hard as work.
He used one of his own buildings, filled it with his art, and picked up a few pieces of concrete from a nearby construction site. At this point, all he had to do was wait for opening day.
I can only imagine the excitement in the gallery on opening day. With everyone present, Ulbricht rose and went to unveil the centerpiece of the event.
The tension must have been palpable, slowly building until he pulled back the curtain and announced that Slab of the Berlin Wall was his newest masterpiece.
He said it was the very first piece of the Berlin Wall to have fallen, an event that had only occurred a few months prior. He had procured it and sculpted it to the perfect form of an artist, as he put.
Taking advantage of the tremendous excitement that had been built in the immediate dawning of the significance of the piece as a historical and artistic artifact on the crowd, Ulbricht began the bidding.
No verifications of the veracity of his claims were made.
No one had time to do so with such an immediate bidding.
Yes, and no one had any reason to doubt the claims, as the fall had happened quite recently and Ulbricht was, in fact, a highly credible artist.
Really, it was quite the calculated decision. The effect of all these facts coming together produced frantic bidding.
Exorbitant bidding that quickly rose to the astounding price tag of 5 million marks, a price that put it among the priciest pieces of art ever.
Upon the final bid being placed and the piece being sold, there was a silence in the room as the colossal sum was processed. Ulbricht took this opportunity to reveal the truth.
He revealed it to be a piece of concrete he had found at a construction site. It was the opposite of valuable.
It was worthless, and he admonished the crowd for having put such value on nothing more than a glorified piece of rock. The allure of his name and the iconography of the Berlin Wall were the only things they valued.
And just how foolhardy such a mindset could be was demonstrated quite stunningly with the auction.
Expectedly, the sale never went through after the reveal as fake, but the message did. The art world was stunned, many rethought their handling of worth.
And Ulbricht, quite satisfied with the stir he had created, kept the gallery open for everyone. changing the pieces inside to keep up with the most modern of arts, but never changing the centerpiece to anything but Slab of the Berlin Wall.
It had been left as a powerful reminder of practicality. It became a factitious symbol of the art world's insensibilities.
It is quite easily a masterpiece of the modern era for this reason alone. It has achieved monumental status for the ideas it represents.
Now it lies at the center of the Ulbricht collection as a literal concrete reminder of the worthlessness of art, a brilliant manifestation of sentiments on contemporary art.